Oh, hi. My name is Call BBS and let's start with Wall World.
This is a mining roguelite with tower defense elements and a very affordable price. Here you'll explore procedurally generated mines and discover fantastical biomes, find resources and technologies and purchase valuable upgrades, fight off hordes of aggressive monsters using your mobile base and roam the world freely day and night in various weather conditions, find traces of the others and boldly mine where no man has mined before. The game has a really fun concept, beautiful art style and reminds me a bit of a Dome Keeper, another beautiful indie game. People on Steam are saying that the game has a great replay value and a bit of a boring ending, but this game is the journey, not the destination. Dead by Daylight. This is a multiplayer 4 vs 1 horror game where one player takes the role of the savage killer and the other 4 players play as survivors, trying to escape the killer and avoid being caught, tortured and killed. Survivors playing third person have the advantage of better situational awareness. You know, when you go near the corner of the house you can see what is happening without exposing your silly face, and the killer plays in first person. I personally think that this concept came from studying nature. Various herbivores have peripheral vision and the predators are best at seeing what's in front of them, so they took this concept and implemented it here. Anyway, the survivor's goal in each encounter is to escape the killing ground without getting caught by the killer, something that sounds easier than it is, especially when the environment changes every time you play. And if you play as a killer, you must help survivors to escape safely, except not. Stellaris. Here every game begins with a civilization who just discovered the means to travel between stars and is ready to explore the galaxy. You will have your science ships survey and explore anomalies, leading you into a myriad of missions, introducing strange worlds with even stranger stories and discoveries that may completely change your outcome. And as always, you are not alone in the universe and you don't know what you will encounter. Maybe a friendly trade federation, maybe a trade federation we saw in Star Wars, and maybe just plain space cannibals. And you will have to deal with all this galactic nonsense all alone, or in multiplayer mode with your friends. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition. This version with upgraded graphics was released 7 years ago, and it still has about 25,000 players in game simultaneously at all times. By player count on Steam it holds 46th place among all the games. That shows how huge and popular this game is. There is no doubt that Skyrim is a masterpiece of open world games, and in my opinion it was decrowned from the throne of the best game in the field only by the third Witcher. By now it is of course a bit outdated, but it still lets you dive into a huge fantasy world and explore incredible places. Skyrim is single player only. There is no bullshit of other players invading your game like in Elden Ring, no other gamers walking around like in Diablo 4 when you just try to accomplish single player campaign. Here you are alone, and everything is done for your personal pleasure. You can become a warrior, mage, assassin or drug addict. You know, it's up to you. Skyrim is like a great book where you are the main protagonist. Superhero to be fair, but the lore is super deep. Stories, especially for guild quests, are great, and if you never played it, just do it. The Forest. How strong are your balls? I guess this is not the question you hear every day. Well, I really hope not, because if you do, you need help. Anyway, I'm not talking about your strange family, I'm talking about the forest. This game will ask you this question over and over again, because alongside the sandbox part, where you cut the trees, lay traps, build houses and free roam the whole world, there is that flesh-eating cannibal part of the game, where you have to defend yourself against a clan of genetic mutant enemies. They are not just usual monsters you can shoot without any regret. They have beliefs, families, morals, and appear almost human. You can still shoot them without any regret anyway, who cares? But the one thing is for sure here, nights are scary in the forest, so you'll need really tough mental balls to survive them. Risk of Rain 2. Everyone who played Risk of Rain 2 can agree on one thing: it plays way better than it looks, meaning that everything you are seeing now to you looks like a graphic gibberish of some sort, but if you take control of the hero, everything changes immediately. The game has 96% of positive reviews left by hundreds of thousands of players who bought the game. You can't argue with that. So here you'll fight your way to the final boss and escape, or continue your run indefinitely to see how long you can survive. A unique scaling system means that both you and your foes limitlessly increase in power over the course of the game. People on Steam are talking that Risk of Rain 2 is a bit unfriendly for new players. It will take time for you to adapt, so be prepared for that. It won't guide you by your hand or penis. Hollow Knight. You'll explore twisting caverns, ancient cities and deadly wastes, encounter battle-tainted creatures, befriend bizarre bugs and solve ancient mysteries at the kingdom's heart. Game is hard and is often compared to Dark Souls. Keep that in mind before you fall in love with those lovely graphics. They are quite deadly. Although if you don't like bugs, you will get your chance to kill a few hundred of them, or be killed by them. Yeah, that is more likely. There are a lot of bug-like different creatures infesting these lands, and only you can exterminate them with your gaming skills. There are also plenty of good bugs as well, so I don't know what this game tries to teach us. I guess be friends with friends and be enemies with enemies.
Wisdom, yeah. Assetto Corsa.
This is a racing simulator with a very affordable price. If you like realism more than arcade fun, this may be your spoon of potato salad. For example, the circuits have been developed using laser scan technology in order to guarantee the highest level of accuracy possible in reproducing real-world racing environments. And despite the game being a bit on the older side, its licensing agreements somehow still work, not like in some other games, if you know what I'm talking about. So here you can drive BMW, Ferrari, Audi, Lamborghini, Mercedes, Tony, Saladini and many other famous cars. Well, maybe not the latter, but hey, it's still a lot. The game surprised me with a vast amount of controls it supports. For example, you can play it either with a steering wheel or with a keyboard and everything in between. The range is truly here. Anyway, if you like racing sims, this is a must. And if you have no idea what racing sim is, for this price you can just try. Maybe it's for you.
Vampyr.
Guess, who are you going to be in this game? A doctor, and I am not even joking. Of course, you will be a vampire here as well. These are difficult times, no one can survive having only one profession. You are not that evil here, but you can choose to kill or rather devour good people and get stronger in the process. You will have to fight against vampire hunters, undead and other supernatural creatures with your own supernatural abilities. People on Steam really enjoy this game's atmosphere, music and voice acting as well. The only thing the game lacks is the freedom. Well, they provide you with many choices, but when you think about it, they don't really matter that much. Hades. 98% of positive reviews left by hundreds of thousands of people is the best proof that Hades is a masterpiece. This is a godlike, roguelike dungeon crawler that combines the best aspects of action RPG games and is a wonderful storyteller. As the immortal prince of the underworld, you wield powers and mythic weapons of Olympus to break free from the clutches of the god of the dead himself. You must grow stronger and unravel more of the story with each unique escape attempt. Yeah, each attempt. That kinda sums up this game where you will be dying all the time. But dying is a part of Hades, it's not something you should be afraid of. And people on Steam are saying, well, it doesn't matter what they say. It's a masterpiece. They are all praising the game and saying that it is the best ever, just like potato salad.
Oxygen not included.
Here you'll find that scarcities of oxygen, warmth and everything else are constant threats to your colony's survival. You will guide colonists through the perils of subterranean asteroid living and watch as their population grows until they are not simply surviving but thriving. You know, like Bear Grylls in nature, except here you don't need to drink your own piss. Though you can do that if you want in real life, I'm not judging you. So here, just like in Dungeon Manager games, everything in your space colony is under your control. From excavation to resource allocation right down to plumbing and power systems. Resources will begin depleting with your first breath, so be sure to dig fast if you want to live. Your inhabitants each have different and potentially destructive ways of reacting to stress, so be sure to always keep them happy, whatever the cost, or they will all go amok and you will have to start over again. World War Z. Humanity is on the brink of extinction. From the Americas to Europe, the undead apocalypse continues to spread uncontrollably, and as the inevitable end looms, a hardened few band together to defeat the horde and outlive the dead. So basically all you have to do is to find a lot of canned food and wait for a month or so for every zombie to rot. But no, this is not what you will do, because otherwise this would be a very boring, lame food tasting game with, you know, survival elements, because, you know, not every canned food is survivable. This game is nothing like that. World War Z is a co-op third-person shooter for up to 4 players, featuring swarms of hundreds of zombies. Based on a famous movie with Brad Pitt, the game focuses on fast-paced gameplay while exploring new storylines from all around the world. If you like zombies and shooting, keep in mind that the game has very positive reviews and it's probably a good match for you. Old World. a really nice game for Civilization and Crusader Kings fans. It is an historical strategy game where you lead your empire through multiple generations, building a grand legacy to last beyond your own years. Here, each of the 7 kingdoms has 4 noble families that provide various benefits when put in charge of your cities. So you will obviously have to marry for politics, raise your heirs, and manage your relationship with the other influential noblemen of your kingdom. So like in that movie I never saw with Vin Diesel, family is what matters here, and if you want to be a strong ruler, your family must be strong as well. So probably marriages between cousins or brothers and sisters here and there is what you actually want. You may think that this is just a simple clone of Civilization, but the game actually takes about 40 hours to beat and contains 3000 unique events inspired by history and mythology. Review score hovers around 80% of positivity, so despite some minor things, all is good in this field. Disco Elysium. This is one of the greatest role-playing experiences you will ever have, but play it only if you like reading a lot and like games without combat. You will not find any here. Well, I mean combat that is not a result of your dialogue choices. Your character will do things automatically based on the decisions you make, and those decisions of yours are not always very smart, and Disco Elysium just lets you do stupid things, which is kinda scary because suddenly you may realize that you just wanted to test the waters, but instead you actually made the decision that will have grim consequences. And by grim, I mean really grim. On some of those occasions, the game just ends. You may see game over screen without even playing an hour. And the game is like,
I told you, but you pushed me hard, so the consequences are yours to swallow.
yeah, actually Disco Elysium has 3 different endings and 12 unique game overs. Those I talked about before. So always, and I mean always, think twice before doing something stupid. And then think twice while playing Disco Elysium as well. Because no matter how stupid the decision you want to make is, the game may let you do it. Alien Isolation. Here you are all alone in a giant space station and a xenomorph is hunting you. You have no guns, you are the prey, but despite the fact that you are a woman, your balls are way bigger than some men have, definitely bigger than mine. So you are being hunted by a creature of nightmares, smart, stealthy, and built to kill. Sometimes it can take an hour without an encounter, sometimes you can feel it creeping upon you in the vents, sometimes you can hear it, and sometimes you just die because a xenomorph is not some usual monster. It's terrifying. Really terrifying. The feeling when you see him launching at you from a distance will put your heart into your heels. It looks and moves in a way which somehow invokes the primal fear in your brain. To play this game you will have to have huge and hairy mental balls, because with time you may get used to the alien, you may get used to hiding and even to jump scares, but when the game guides you to the alien nest, and it's the only way to go, you will only wish that you had not 2 balls, but at least 4, or more likely 7. Yeah, 7 is good number. Astroneer. Game is set during the 25th century intergalactic age of discovery. Here astroneers explore the frontiers of outer space, risking their lives in harsh environments to unearth rare discoveries and unlock the mysteries of the universe itself. In this space sandbox adventure you can work together with other players to build custom bases above or below the ground, create vehicles to explore a vast solar system, and use terrain to create anything you can imagine. So basically you are invading beautiful planets with beautiful nature and making an industrial hell out of them. Yeah, screw nature, the galaxy is full of it. People on Steam are saying that here you are your own worst enemy. You will fall off the cliffs, touch deadly plants and forget something at your base that is half a galaxy away. Yeah, anyway, very positive reviews are here for a reason. Almost everyone loves the game and there is a huge chance that you will love it as well. Marvel's Midnight Suns. Here you'll become the Hunter, the first fully customizable original hero in the Marvel universe. You can personalize your appearance, choose your reactions to situations, and build friendships with other Marvel characters spanning the Avengers, X-Men, Runaways, and so on. Like in many similar games, you will decide who to take with you on missions, which missions to embark on, and a host of other options to make this a unique experience. The game is made by the creators of the legendary XCOM series, so there is no surprise that the game has a very positive review score on Steam and is appreciated by Marvel fans and by turn-based lovers as well. For example, I liked superhero movies, but when they started to make like 7 of them every year, I stopped watching and I have no idea who half of these superheroes in this game are. Totally accurate battle simulator. If you are just bored and want to kill some time in single player without thinking too much, I doubt there is a better game for that than totally accurate battle simulator. At first, it's really funny. Second, it challenges your IQ and actual tactical skills. All you need to do is to choose your units, place them strategically and press the fight button. They will do all the battling part by themselves and you will observe it like some overarching god who has no power to influence anything anymore. So when your army is ripped apart and its scattered remains lie on the ground, then you may think of another strategy and try again, and then again. Some of the battles in the campaign are crazy hard and it will squeeze your IQ through your nostrils. Also, if you have some doubts, the game has about 100,000 reviews left on Steam and the score is really close to 100%. I'm not kidding, it's probably one of the best rated games on the whole Steam. The Quarry. I would say that this is a usual slasher movie, except this time it's a game, where all the stupid decisions of the protagonist are made by you. So here you'll be in charge of a band of teenagers who decided to go to a distant quarry and celebrate, something. And things quickly took a turn for the worse. Hunted by blood-drenched locals and something far more sinister, your plans unravel into an unpredictable night of horror. Friendly banter and flirtations give way to life or death decisions, as relationships build or break under the strain of unimaginable choices, made by you by the way. You will play as each of 9 characters in a thrilling cinematic tale, where every decision shapes your unique story from a tangled web of possibilities. Any character can be the star of the show or die before daylight comes, and it's all your fault. Honestly, this game is better played in the company of friends, or with your loving mother-in-law, so you could laugh and be scared together. People on Steam are praising the game's replayability but bashing its short story. Outward Definitive Edition. This is an open-world survival game with Souls-like combat mechanics. In this edition you will find both DLCs, new weapons, dungeons and also several life quality improvements. The game has only a mostly positive review score on Steam, but it doesn't do the justice. Most people who are giving a dislike spend 40 to 60 hours in-game, and that honestly looks like some kind of masochism. If you don't like the game, just don't play it. Like Warren Buffett once said, always take the easy road and you will get there first. Anyway, Outward is like Skyrim and Dark Souls had a weird hybrid baby, and instead of abortion, this time they decided to keep it. If you like both games, why not? Outward has some problems, but in general it is a nice game. Mad Max. This is without a doubt one of the best open-world games on Steam. More than 90% of positive reviews are here for a reason. You will play as a lone warrior in a savage post-apocalyptic world where cars are the most important thing, the very key to survival. Anyway, in Mad Max you will find an action-packed open world where you must fight against vicious gangs of bandits to stay alive in the wasteland. You want nothing more than to leave the madness behind and find solace in the mythical Plains of Silence. Along the way in your search, you are challenged with treacherous missions as you scavenge the dangerous landscape for supplies to build the ultimate combat vehicle of your dreams. The Eternal Cylinder. You know how we are always whining about all the games being the same. All the games copy other games, and then some copies become even more popular than the originals, and then everyone is copying the copies until the cycle repeats itself. Yeah, that's not the case with the Eternal Cylinder. I doubt that I have seen anything like this. The game is obviously inspired by some crazy artist or made by one, so he will control this cute creature and wander around with various tasks. But the true meaning of this game lies in its name. An enormous rolling cylinder is approaching, and you, along with everything around, are its pizza dough. It is a mobile megastructure of unknown origin. It has destroyed and absorbed countless civilizations over the billions of years of its existence, and will do the same to you and your land. It can be delayed, but it has never been truly stopped.
Well, maybe bigger being can stop it.
What do you mean by bigger being?
I'm talking about your mama.
Oh, shut up. So I guess if you fail, everyone will die. Game has very positive reviews and it's really underrated. Also, the soundtrack is free to download. That is not what you see every day in this greedy world, that's for sure. The Deadly Tower of Monsters. The game treats itself as a 1970s movie. That is not a joke, that is the whole concept of the game. It is filled with classic themes such as the daughter versus tyrant father, the planet full of innocent ape creatures, the dashing space-age liberator, the robot companion, or the tower full of treacherous mutations. As developers say, a timeless classic for all ages. So in general, this is an action-adventure sci-fi comedy game with dynamic narration set in a retro futuristic environment. You can play it alone or together with your friends or mother-in-law on a shared or split screen. Game has full controller support and, honestly, full support of your poverty, because the price is more than friendly. Narcosis. This is a horror game set at the sunless depths of the Pacific Ocean. Stranded on the seafloor with low lights and few tools, you, an industrial diver, will have to take desperate steps to the surface before your oxygen and sanity runs out. You are trapped in your suit, or as you call it, a walking coffin. So be careful. High-stress situations will accelerate oxygen intake, distorting sight, sound, space, and time. Your only weapons against the nightmarish flora and fauna of the abyss is a knife, flashlight, and a few flares. Here you won't find any shadowy organizations and eldritch terrors, only primal human fears and human limits. The game is very short, it will take around 3 hours to finish. But hey, as I always say, better short fun than a long agony. This war of mine. Here you will take care of a group of civilians trying to survive in a besieged city, struggling with lack of food, medicine, and constant danger from snipers and hostile scavengers. The game provides an experience of war seen from an entirely new angle. The pace of the game is imposed by the day and night cycle. During the day, snipers outside stop you from leaving your refuge, so you need to focus on maintaining your hideout, crafting, trading, and taking care of your survivors. And at night, take one of your civilians on a mission to scavenge through a set of unique locations for items that will help you stay alive, you know, like medicine or a box of beer. Underrail. Game is set in a distant future when life on the surface has long gone and the only remnants of humanity now dwell in the Underrail, a vast system of metro station states that, it seems, are the last bastions of a fading race. Here you take control of one of the denizens of such a station state, whose life is about to become all that much more interesting and dangerous as you are caught in the middle of conflicting factions of the Underrail as they violently struggle to survive in the harsh underground environment. Game will take about 60 hours of your boring life, so it's a decent storyteller, although it's difficult and may sometimes infuriate you. Card Shark. Something really refreshing this time. Card Shark is an adventure game full of cunning, intrigue, and delectable deceit. You will enter a world where you will need to play your opponents better than you play your cards. For example, when I play cards, I often cheat. For me, not winning is not an option, that's why I never play cards with strangers. You know, I avoid getting shot. But in this game, everything is way more serious. You will have to cheat your way to the top of 18th century French society, master deceptions using card marking, false shuffles, deck switching, false deals, and more. Use your ill-gotten gains to buy your way into the closed world of high stakes, or even to a table of a king himself. And yeah, please don't get caught while cheating a king. Cat Museum. This is a surreal, psychedelic point-and-click puzzle adventure like you have never seen before. If you like cats and original design and artwork aren't your enemies, then this game is probably for you. A museum sits in the middle of nowhere and is guarded by a mysterious cat. You unexpectedly become the manager of the museum and take on a job of repairing it. You must find hidden clues and solve the puzzles, all while dealing with this mischievous cat. The deeper you go, the closer you will get to the frightening answers. And there are so many questions, at least in your head. More than 90% of positive reviews, and this price is an irresistible combo. Stasis, Bone Totem. Perhaps I should start with the fact that the game has an overwhelmingly positive review score on Steam. That is always a great sign. Here you will take control of Mac and Charlie, a husband and wife duo who make their living by searching the ocean for salvage. But when you stumble upon an abandoned oil rig in the Pacific Ocean, you uncover a horrific secret, and the evil corporation behind it will do anything to keep it hidden. As you embark on your adventure, you will encounter an immersive narrative filled with spine-tingling horror and unexpected twists. Stasis Bone Totem, despite being a psychological horror game, is kinda relaxing because of the point-and-click nature and an interesting puzzles to solve. Conarium. This is a chilling Lovecraftian game that follows the gripping story of 4 scientists and their endeavor to challenge what we normally consider to be the absolute limits of nature. And no, they are not teaching a cat to roll over. That is impossible. The task is way more easier, to be honest. The game is inspired by H.P. Lovecraft's novella At the Mountains of Madness, but largely set on the original story. You'll find a plot infused with lots of secrets and Easter eggs, ominous but wonderful graphics created with Unreal Engine and multiple endings. Game has a chilling atmosphere, so be sure your mental balls are hard to crack. Although do not expect a lot of action here, this is mostly a walking simulator with a mist-like puzzles. The Wandering Village. This is a city-building simulation game. In a world where mysterious plants are spreading all over the earth and emitting toxic spores as they grow, a group of people seek shelter on the back of a giant wandering creature. You'll have to become their leader, build settlement and form a symbiotic relationship with the creature to survive together. Well, I hope that you can be really helpful for the creature, because, you know, otherwise those people are just parasites living on its back and you are the leader of parasites. That doesn't sound so dreamy and glamorous, right? Well, you help the creature to get rid of the evil plants, but I doubt that it is a good deal for the creature. You know, people are pooping and dying and planting stuff on your back. It's a colony of horror from the perspective of that dinosaur thing. Anyway, the game has around 90% of positive review score, but it is in early access, so some features are probably missing. The Bloodline. This is an open-world fantasy action RPG where you will take on a role of a descendant of a magical lineage. You are gifted the power of foresight by an ancient god to protect the world from evil. Here the adventure is yours. You will follow quest lines to help the people or roam the world freely at your own pace, allowing organic opportunities or organic deaths to arise. You will reform bonds between kingdoms, construct a village and prepare the world for the return of evil stuff. Just like in the Elder Scrolls games, here you will explore the world, join various guilds, hunt magical creatures, or become a bard at the local tavern. The game doesn't hold your hand or penis, you can enjoy and experience it in any way you desire. REAVER. The game is obviously inspired by Ultra Kill, not only by style but by quality as well. The review score is above 90% and that is always a great thing. Also here, as in Quake games, you can fly off your own recoil. That's awesome. Also you will use grappling hooks, slamming, crouch sliding and many more actions that are making this game fun. The game also combines various weapons to make them more efficient. You can throw a black hole into the crowd, then toss a grenade and shoot it for the best effect. And that effect is always very bloody and effective. I am a writer, I promise. The game is obviously very fast-paced. Here you can go almost unreasonably fast. As developers say, here you will challenge the limits of what fast-paced movement shooter is. People who play the game, just like me, are saying that this feels like a sequel to the Ultra Kill. Here you are fast and deadly, totally opposite of who you are in real life.
Slow and life-giving?
I don't know, man, shut up. Lisa. Title is very well rated on various platforms. For example, on Steam it has above 90% of positive reviews, and that should lock your attention in. Also, I must stress that the game is for adults and it was hard for me just to show it for you without being demonetized. Anyway, this, as developers say, is a hilarious RPG of your wildest nightmares. Here you will undertake a relentless journey through a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Beneath its charming exterior is a world full of disgust and moral desolation, where you will learn what kind of person you truly are. You know, by being forced to make choices that permanently affect the gameplay. You will make sacrifices to keep your party members alive, whether it's taking a beating for them, losing limbs or some other inhuman things. In this world you will learn that being selfish and heartless is the only way to survive. You know, just like in real life, don't act like you are a saint. Some people are saying that it is hard to get into the game right away, so there are a fair amount of players who love the game only from second or even a third try. So don't give up. Quern, Undying Thoughts. This is a first-person puzzle-adventure game inviting you on a journey to explore the beautiful land and solve many challenges. You'll put your IQ to the test with the increasingly complex puzzles and unravel the mysteries of the island. Remember Myst? So it's quite the same. It is original and solving one or another puzzle is really rewarding, you know, for your ego. People on Steam are saying that Quern is one of the best puzzle games they ever played. It also has more than 90% of positive reviews, and the bad ones are mostly about technical issues. People don't realize that you should check your graphic card drivers all the time. For example, I couldn't even run Elden Ring without updating them. Anyway, this is a great game, really worth your money even when not on a sale. Battletech. Most of the games involving battle mechs are first or third person shooters, not this one. This is actually a real treat for turn-based strategy lovers. The year is 3025 and the galaxy is trapped in a cycle of war fought by noble houses with enormous mechanized combat vehicles. Here you will take command of your own mercenary outfit of mechs and mech warriors that pilot them, struggling to stay afloat as you find yourself drawn into a brutal interstellar civil war. You will upgrade your Star Warring base of operations, negotiate negotiate mercenary contracts with feudal lords, repair and maintain your stable of aging battle mechs, and execute devastating combat tactics to defeat your enemies on the battlefield, or be defeated over and over again until you actually learn to play. On Steam you can find people that have sunk hundreds of hours into this game, so this is by no means just a casual title. For you it can become a real spoon of delicious potato salad. Silt. This is an atmospheric puzzle adventure and exploration game with hints of horror made by ignoring all the existing colors. I love it. Colors are for the weak. Here, alone in underwater abyss, you are a diver searching the deep to uncover long-forgotten mysteries. You are able to possess the creatures around you to solve puzzles and travel further into the darkness. I'll be honest, Silt looks absolutely beautiful, and these hand-drawn backgrounds are, I can agree with what developers are saying about their game.
It's an art brought to life.
Yeah, that's for sure. People on Steam are saying that this is a simplistic and fun puzzle game with the vibes of Limbo. Amid Evil. This is a retro-looking first-person shooter built on Unreal Engine 4, continuing the carnage of legendary Heretic. So if you are old enough and Heretic plays some strings in your mind, you already know that this game is worthy of your attention. You'll find 7 distinct episodes, each featuring a completely different setting and enemies, also magical weaponry that can be overcharged with the souls of the dead, and endless hordes of evil to eradicate. Players on Steam are praising the game because of its awesome music and visuals and incredible weaponry. There is also a VR version of the game available. Also, you can try a free demo as well. Cryofall. This is a sci-fi colony simulation survival game set on a forgotten planet in a distant future. You will join the world together with other survivors to rebuild your civilization from scratch. Start with primitive technology and simple tools, and use them to progress towards modern industrial might and even beyond, eventually reaching space-age technology only seen in science fiction. So it's a science fiction game where you seek to achieve some science fiction. Cryofall can be played either as a relaxed player versus environment experience with no competition, or as a brutal and unforgiving PvP. Make your choice and join one of the many available servers with different game modes, or host your own and invite your friends to join you. However, it's important to keep in mind that Cryofall is not for the faint of heart. The unforgiving environment can be brutal, and you might find yourself in situations where even a tardigrade would be jealous of your survival skills. Beautiful Desolation. I can honestly say that this is one of the coolest games I have ever played. It may sound silly because this is actually a point-and-click game, but it was made so well I was very impressed during my playthrough, and I still am. They wanted to create something original, something different and never seen before, and I can clearly say that they succeeded. I promise you that story-wise you never played anything like that. The whole game feels like some that surrealistic sci-fi dream of Carl Sagan, with weird characters, weird conversations and weird atmosphere in general that somehow still makes sense. If you ever read anything by Philip K. Dick, you will understand what I'm talking about. And this game is pure art, but it's hard. It won't guide you by a hand or penis, and puzzles you have to solve are no joke. So prepare to be mentally humiliated and deal with the fact that your IQ is not as high as you think it is. Scanner Sombre. Here, armed with a LiDAR scanner, you navigate through an underground cave system shrouded in darkness. Every step forward unravels a stunning display of luminescent colors as your scanner brings the world to life. It's a mesmerizing dance between light and shadow where the unknown awaits. But Scanner Sombre is not just about aesthetics, it's a game that tests your IQ. As you explore the depths, you will navigate through mind-bending puzzles that will make you question the level of your brain power, so make sure it's turned on in the first place. People on Steam are saying that the game is not scary, really short, and has an interesting story, and more than 90% of reviews are positive. Black Skylands. This is a steampunk experience that combines elements of open world, sandbox, top-down shooter and action-adventure games. Here you'll become a skilled and valiant young sky marshal, fighting to protect your people from the invading bad guys. You will take command of your own airship and embark on a journey through a world of boundless skies. Gather resources to craft powerful weapons, upgrade your ship to new heights, unearth ancient secrets, and engage in beautiful battles. When I played the alpha or demo version of this game a few years ago, I was really impressed by the style of the game. It surely draws inspiration from Hayao Miyazaki and his creations. Also, do yourself a favor and prepare for yourself some Abney Park, Steam Powered Giraffe and other soundtracks from steampunk bands. This way you can truly elevate your experience with Black Skylands, that's for sure. Gordian Quest. In this card game, you will lead heroes on an adventure to save what's left of the fallen world and destroy the root of evil. This is an epic deck-building RPG inspired by old-school classics like Ultima and D&D, but as it is popular nowadays, it is using gaming concepts like roguelite and turn-based strategic combat. You will form parties of heroes whom you will have to lead and manage on difficult missions, help them forge bonds and discover new skills among them. You will also find a campaign mode and venture through 4 acts, also roguelite mode and 10 different heroes, each with their own unique class, skills and playstyle, also various difficulty levels and tons of loot. Art-wise, game is great as well, and it is an owner of a very positive review score on Steam. Morbid, the 7 Acolytes. You are the last surviving person of your order. Your duty, for which you have trained your whole life, is to make the best potato salad in the world. Oh wait, that is another game. Here, instead of making delicious potato salad, you have to defeat the 7 Acolytes, a cursed and powerful beings possessed by malevolent deities. You will experience epic, brutal boss encounters and explore a diverse array of environments. Game has deep lore with NPCs, over 25 unique weapons, a great soundtrack consisting of 18 tracks, and of course, a Souls-like combat. People on Steam are saying that this is a great game for Dark Souls and pixel art lovers. I think it's obvious why. Source of Madness. This is a side-scrolling, dark action roguelite set in a twisted Lovecraftian world powered by a procedural generation and AI machine learning. You will take on the role of a new acolyte as you embark on a nightmarish odyssey, and in the process uncover the cosmic secrets of the creepy world and the Tower of Madness. The coolest thing here is that the horrific monsters you face are never the same. They are concocted with procedural generation and animated using a neural network AI. What can I say, the future is now. I can't wait for more expensive games, 3D games maybe, to start using similar or maybe more advanced technology. Monsters designed by artificial intelligence which is using our darkest fears as an algorithm would be beyond awesome. Spirittea. If you ever saw Hayao Miyazaki's masterpiece Spirited Away, you may be pleased to know that Spirittea is inspirited by this movie. The town here is crawling with troublesome souls, and you are the only one who can see them. So you'd better get that old bathhouse up and running. Maybe that will help them to chill out. The bathhouse is an ancient building hidden up in the mountain, and it's up to you to clean it up and fill it full of customers. And you better be sure that your customers are happy. Spirits aren't something you want to be angry at you. Like, have you seen The Ring? Anyway, once the beings visit your bathhouse, you'll need to clean towels, chop wood and heat the baths, and see the spirits with their friends for the ultimate bathing experience. So no stinky spirits in this game. Sunless Sea. This is a horror gothic game. Here you'll be able to explore the Victorian Gothic universe of fallen London, with a focus on exploration and exquisite storytelling. But be careful, some trips might lead you to a certain death, or worse, cannibalism, or the worst, lack of potato salad. Anyways, people really enjoy the beautiful art of this game. Here you'll also meet some very well painted Lovecraftian sea monsters, and the whole vibe in general is very ominous. Even though you will have to read walls of text here, you will do that with joy because the writing is fantastic. But don't expect fancy combat or fast plot lines full of exciting events. No, game is slow, but the brilliant storyline, writing quality and world building aspects are all handled very well. The only downside is, since you will die a lot, you will have to start over. If the giant crabs, sentient icebergs and swarms of bats don't get you, madness and cannibalism certainly will. And those nicely written texts won't seem as nice to read for the 10th time. Sunless Sea is more like choosing your own adventure novel than a game. If you like slow-paced, story-rich games, then get in the boat and try to fish the biggest marinated herring you can find. Yes, they come from sea already marinated, if you're lucky enough. Talespire. It is a beautiful way to play pen and paper RPGs, except here you won't need pen and paper. Instead, you can bring your own stories to life and embark upon campaigns together with your friends. Regardless of where you are in the world, the engine of Talespire will do everything it can to make you happy. Well, sadly, it can't make potato salad. Just a disclaimer. So, in a way, it's a tabletop game where rules, battles and adventures are supervised by AI. As developers say, the beauty of real-world tabletop gaming here meets the endless possibilities of a digital world. Here you can build your your adventures without compromising the handcrafted aesthetic of using traditional miniatures. You can take on a mantle of multiple heroes and creatures, manage your stats and express yourself using the emote system, perform dice rolls directly on board and interact with your environment. As a game master, you can dazzle and thrill your friends by building expansive maps, setting up shots and controlling immersive soundscapes to bring all your delightful and devious designs to life. I also have to say that Talespire is not tied to a specific game or rule set. You make rules or bend them as you wish and the game makes sure that no one can break them. Last Call BBS. This doesn't look like much, but hear me out. The game has overwhelmingly positive review score, and the trick is that this is not one game, not 2 games, not 3 games, not 4 games, not 10 games, not 100 games, and not 1000 games. This is 8 games in one. Most of them are various puzzles and some of them are something else. Creepy, kinky, weird stuff, you know, everything your ex-girlfriend liked, but not your current wife. And people are saying that you shouldn't play the game if you don't like retro games. For example, I would rather drink hamster's milk from the source than play something like that. I'm not a young man anymore, but I was never a fan of old stuff or stuff that pretends to be old. Nostalgia is bad for you, you should quit while you can. So play this if you like the concept, not because it reminds you of old good days. Those will never come back, no matter what you play. Blair Witch. I never played the game myself because I expected it to be very scary, so I watched the entire playthrough on YouTube. I really love watching horror games being played by people with way bigger balls than I have. So what can I say? Blair Witch is not a very scary game. It is dark and psychologically challenging, but the level of horror isn't very high. I could probably play it without much struggle. The game itself is quite linear, so don't expect much action. All you'll do here is hold the W key. Sometimes relaxed and sometimes you will press way harder, depending on the situation of course. So basically it is a walking simulator with menacing and beautiful visuals. Anyway, the story starts in 1996. A young boy disappears in the forest and you, a former police officer with a troubled past, join the search. What starts as an ordinary investigation soon turns into an endless nightmare as you confront your fears and the Blair Witch herself, a mysterious force that haunts the woods. Creepy but very fun. Trover saves the universe. This humoristic game is quite crazy, and there is why. Your dogs have been kidnapped by a lunatic named Glorcon, who stuffed them into his eye holes and is using their life essence to destroy the universe. It's hard to go more loco than that. It's possible, but hard. So you are partnered with Trover, a little purple eye-hole monster who isn't a huge fan of working or being put in the position of having to save the universe. He also kinda hates you as well. So there the mechanics kick in. You control Trover's movements, but not his mouth. He got a lot to say about what's going on in the game, and about you of course. The game has around 90% of positive reviews, so if you like humor, there is no escape, you should play it. Stoneshard. I was recommended this game by one of my Patreon supporters, and since then I keep an eye on it. The game is still in early access, but it has a great potential. Stoneshard is a turn-based RPG set in an open world where you can create your own character without any limitations. Well, that is what developers say. I'm pretty much sure that you can't create beer or vodka bender here. Or can you? The game is set in a grim environment. Villages lie in ruins, dungeons are infested with monsters, and old roads are all abandoned. Although Stoneshard presents many opportunities, you can fulfill contracts, hunt for treasure, trade in a variety of goods and travel the land to earn your fortune. Sadly, it has this terrible moving system, so it's up to you if you can actually handle that. And if you are some kind of masochist, keep in mind that in this game you can choose to play in permadeath mode and die once and for all.
Tony Boy robs a bank.
That dude is a real menace, and he is ready to commit more felonies in this comedic action-adventure game with roguelike elements. This time the career criminal is teaming up with a fearsome pickled gang to plan and execute the most notorious heist of all time. You will have to shake down hostages, steal precious valuables, and explore the deep, dark depths and history of the botanical bank. You'll need to purchase an array of dangerous and wacky tools from the dark web. However, bank robbing isn't easy, so be prepared for intense shootouts with security vegetables and elite SWAT teams. People on Steam aren't holding their horses when they speak about the game. Almost unanimously people are praising the title and calling it a masterpiece. Although keep in mind that it is quite short, it will take from 6 to 10 hours to beat. Agatha Christie, Murder on the Orient Express. You will discover a modernized and revisited version of Agatha Christie's classic book. Set in 2023, Murder on the Orient Express brings the classic tale to life in a way that may surprise even the most dedicated fans. Game isn't blindly following the original story. You will find brand new elements and experience the mystery and suspense of the most famous case of Hercule Poirot. So here a crime is committed on the train. During your trip you are surrounded by a group of singular characters, all suspects, each with their own secrets and motives. And your job is to single out the murderer amongst them. Solving the mystery won't be easy. Through numerous twists and turns you will have to use your enormous IQ to unravel the mystery and bring it to life. I wish games like that had an actual brain capability requirement, so you won't lose the money if you are, a bit dumber. So before you buy, you would have to solve a small puzzle, preferably from the game, to unlock the payment options. If you fail, the game is obviously not for you. Buy some other game, and if you solve it in a matter of seconds, that may tell you something as well. Just an idea, but kinda nice one, huh? Ancient Planet Tower Defense. It is time to take a break, to rest your mind from various zombie games, from shooters or complex 4X strategies, and just entertain yourself. And tower defense games are one of the best ways to achieve that. It is not a new title by any means, it was released in 2015, but so was the third Witcher. They knew how to make good games back then, that's for sure. So here you'll find 40 unique levels and plenty of diverse enemies and features. Also you can upgrade everything, and the art style is great, also a very positive review score, and this price is probably the combo you needed today. If you like tower defense games, it may be your spoon of potato salad. Cocoon. This wonderful game is made by the same designer who developed legendary Limbo and Inside, so that should grab your attention. Also the fact that the game is a proud owner of more than 90% of positive review score on Steam. This is a unique take on the puzzle-adventure genre where each world exists within an orb that you can carry on your back. Here you'll have to wrap your head around the core mechanic of leaping between worlds and combine, manipulate and rearrange them to solve intricate puzzles. You will interact with alien environments and biomechanical devices left behind by an ancient civilization, journey through unique and diverse biomes, from industrial structures to massive organic caverns. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing, that's gross. Anyway, you will have to discover how these worlds and environments are connected to one another. People who played it are praising the game and saying that it will bend you over, at least your mind. Hob. The game was made by the same guys who created legendary Torchlight and Torchlight 2. Presented without text or dialogue, Hub's story is revealed as you explore a mysterious planet and interact with the strange life forms that inhabit it. You will transform this world by solving puzzles and repairing the planet itself. The landscape will change before your eyes, opening new areas to uncover and explore. People are saying that the game is just a partial RPG, it's mostly oriented to puzzle solving, but in general will scratch the itch you have for the great games you may never have heard of before. Although be warned that without a controller the experience may not be the same, be sure you have it. Actually, playing Hob without one, it's like trying to ride a traditional bike by pedaling with your hands.
And now thank you for watching, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.